Alrighty. Well, it looked like you had a lot to say before the game because there was a big, long huddle. Can you just give me a bit of insight as to what you guys were talking about during the pregame?
Well, we're talking about how we think that we played well the first game. It's just that lanes didn't go the way we played, and then they had a really good tempo lineup, and we weren't ready for it. So we're just talking about that, trying to like go back to our best. Our best way of like trying to get them ready for the next game, like the way they were for the first game. That's what I meant. And
We don't have action in the game, so we are going to jump straight into it with Cap and SVG for Game 2. Thank you very much.
That's right. Welcome to Game 2 of Heroic versus Tundra. We already had a first blood on our hands. As you guys saw, Snapfire did go down. But Avery, I was really interested in, we were listening to Cap Furtado there, and he was talking about, the drafts, being a drafter yourself, being a coach yourself. Do you agree with that philosophy that they chose with, right? They needed an answer to the Dragonite. They think it's a hard hero to be able to counter. They had some options that were way more traditional, but they went for the off-lane Slark, something they've only played once before in an official, because they thought it would surprise Tundra, and they didn't have much time left in the draft.
There's some validity to that. I mean, there is some truth. Like, you pick something the enemy doesn't expect, they're not used to. It's a little difficult to formulate a game plan against it super fast when you have 20 seconds left or whatever, right? Yep. So maybe your items against it are going to be a little more off than something like Timbersaw you were expecting. But I do think the Timber might have sounded juicy. The one upside here for Heroic as this draft, it's definitely wonky, right? I don't think anyone's going to argue this draft isn't wonky, but yeah. They have a lot of gap close. If there's one thing this lineup excels at, it's gap close. You have 3 cores with innate gap close abilities. They are 3 melee cores, but they can all just jump on top of you, and it's repeating gap close. Like, you have multiple leaps off of Sarkags, you have multiple rolls in with the Earth Spirit. The Monkey King can leap, Boundless Strike you, leap again. Like, in theory, the chase down potential is super big. Clockwork's another hero that can just give you innate gap close from level 6 onwards. So if you can just start to snowball this game and pick Tundra off across the map and just start running them down, create the chaotic South American Dota that this squad is capable of, that is where this lineup can shine. If you get stuck in more of a disciplined, slow, methodical game like we saw last time where Tundra are running around with Topson, killing a hero here or there, controlling the map, setting up for Roshan's, you might have a difficult time just taking the straight-up engagements in a 5v5, 4-on-4 situation.
Yeah, the panel was already talking about how they were doing something a little bit different before the Slark even came up, right? With the Earth Spirit pickup, they were talking about, is that going to be Divine Llama's hero, or is that going to be running mid or analog? And this is something that they have done before. Unfortunately, I'm referencing the same exact game that we referenced for the offlane Marcy's success that Heroic had in that game against Game & Gladiators. So it didn't work for, that reference didn't work in Game 1. I'm not sure if it'll work in Game 2, but we'll see. Maybe the Slark will end up working for them. This is something that they have done once in an official, and that was just a month ago. They did it in an online tournament. Obviously, very different situation here on LAN and against a very tough opponent in Tundra that they're already down at 1 game against. It does seem like they are very much all in on the laning phase, something that didn't work for them in Game 1. Do you think the laning phase is going to go better in this second game?
I actually don't think it's that all in. Like, every game at TI is going to be pretty dependent on the laning phase. Divine Llama should get another kill here.
Blocked up, and wait. Okay, Schofield commits for it and does manage to get the kill, and he will not die to that tower hit. Gets a bit low, but he has a healing sound, so he is going to be back into it. This double melee offlanes were actually working quite well.
I mean, the biggest factor, Divine Llama got first blood off that exchange we saw, so he just came to lane with an extra bracer, basically. He is raking in the gold right now. He is very farmed. Net worth-wise, just off the extra kills, get a couple extra agi stacks here, you're cruising. This Slark is in a very solid position, already level 4. I don't think this lineup is as dependent on the lane, just because I think the skirmish power is something people are underestimating a little bit. Like, Earth Spirit Slark, if they get to like the first and a half items, they're pretty annoying in the fight. Tundra don't have a super early pipe buyer, for example, right? We're not going to see Ramses buy first item pipe on Mars here, I think.
Okay.
This Magnetize could be annoying. If you can gap close the sniper, you remove a lot of the damage from Tundra's lineup. I see the potential. There's a lot that has to be executed there. But I do kind of see the idea, and you should not underestimate how much the Slark can do in some of these early fights if he starts building up early stacks. Like, he can be annoying. And there's not a lot of control for him. You have Arena, but that's it.
Nice use of the cookie there from Soxa, but being in the 5 position lane has not gone so well here for Soxa.
No.
As the roll hit from Analog, he thought he survived, and all of a sudden, Analog from downtown rolls in and gives him a good kick.
He's going to stay around here, too. They're going to dive. This Dragon Knight potentially have the wave coming in. I mean, Pure offers nothing here in terms of trying to turn it around.
They're going to have Whitemon TP in as the Jakiro to try and help this situation. The dive is still going to continue, though.
They just bailed. Good luck, team.
Okay, goodbye. Oh, the Shrapnel is going to be able to reveal Dubai Lama. He's trying to get away, but the Shrapnel and now the dual breast slowing him down. He doesn't have a pounce to be able to jump out, so he's going to be relying entirely on juking through the trees, and that's just not going to work for you against 3 different heroes all looking for you.
You get a lot of TPs down here. Both supports, again, and the Sniper TP and triple Shrapnel drop from Thompson. It's a big committal from Tundra to try and turn this aggression around. You do get a big kill out of it in that Slark, slow down his momentum. But it does cost you some resources on the map. I was going to say the one lane I was maybe the most worried about was this Sniper versus melee hero mid, but honestly, Analog, he's gotten through it, and I mean, this would be a massive pickup if they can kill Thompson in the early game.
Thompson has made this rotation, but the supports have come with him.
Oh,
they hit him with a blood grenade, still might be able to make commit as the Magnetize is taking him down. Analog has got the kill, no problem, and he's going to look for more. He's got Whitemon, now he's going to go for the support as well. Analog playing that beautifully. His Earth Spirit is top tier, and he understood in that situation, Magnetize is inevitable. They will be dying here. He's just got to make sure to play it slow and keep those ticks up.
This is the best spell for Heroic in this game and the most dangerous one for Tundra. You get stuck in these early fights versus Magnetize, it's going to decimate you. They don't have early dispels. They don't have a lot of early healing or sustain to kind of power through it. Traditionally, you'd want heroes like Omni Knight, Abaddon, Undying versus this Earth Spirit to just clog up his team fight, but there's none of that in this early game. It's just all spell casting. Analog can really put some pressure on in this game, and he's top net worth, just got triple earn charge on top of it. Early Vessel's going to put some more pressure on these big melee cores that Tundra have. Heroic starting to cook a little bit in this game too.
Absolutely. I love the fact
lineup, but making it work.
Analog created that opening himself through the pressure that he created in the bottom lane, forcing the Sniper to TP, right? Sniper's not able to get back to that mid lane as easily. They catch him in the middle of the jungle as a result. And now, with the supports rotating back with Thompson and then dying, it left the Slark in a 1v1. So the Slark was one who died in that rotation, but it still worked out for him in the end because he gets some 1v1 time against Dragon Knight, just what he wants.
Taking advantage of the resources on the map. Heroic playing a little chaotic too, saying going back to the roots. I mean, that is a big part of it. Got to kind of make the game unorthodox for Tundra here, so they aren't sure exactly what's happening, getting dragged around, and then caught in these fights that are disadvantageous, trying to weather the storm right now. Ideally, you play around Thompson here because, like, this mid sniper is very strong in these early fights if you can put him in a good position. But his tower is just dead to this Enchantress. We saw this hero first pick for a reason. It did some work game one in terms of the objective taking, and KJ putting it to work here. Nice two-man stomp.
That's right, true to his name, King Jungles comes out with the Enchantress, trying to use the jungle to his advantage to take that mid tower. Does force a lot of rotations to protect that mid tower because it's a sniper, but that leaves Dragon Knight all alone.
This is one of those games where if you're pure, it's like, what the hell's happening? Why is there a Slark Earth Spirit clock on me at like 8 minutes, you know?
Yep.
It's like one of those bad pubs where you can't tell if the enemy team gave up or not. It's like a Skype by Meteor Hammer. Like, what's happening? I just want to farm, guys. We'll see if he opts for the Midas in a maybe similar recovery position to what Hector was last game. But it's Hector going aggression this time. No Midas for him. He's just going the Gleipnir. This is not a bad position for Heroic. I feel like
not at all.
Tundra wanted more out of this sniper in the early game. And if you don't get Thompson to a position where he's a bit tankier, you reverse so much gap close. I do wonder if this sniper is just going to get bamboozled every fight. Like, you have 6 heroes rolling on him in an edge creep, and his tower's gone, and there's night vision on the Slark to contest with to match you, and it's a spooky game for Thompson right now. He does not have a lot of frontline either outside of the Mars to...
They know. They see him, but Analog, a roll after a sniper, but he had an invisibility, so not going to be able to kill him here. Still going to be able to go for the ward. That gets denied by Soxa. They are getting herded into this offlane tower area, and with the Enchantress creep, they could tank the tower shots if they want to go for the dive. But they opt not to go for it, maybe for the best. That could have been a throwy situation there.
Absolutely could have been. And I mean, Tundra, they did play it well. Like, they maintained their formation, protect the tops, and just back up. Invis Rune does some work. Not giving an opening there is really important, because this is where that Magnetize can absolutely shred them in the 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Still Schofield protecting their wards here. Does not want to let Tundra back into the high ground, and
they knew Whitemon could not stop himself from going up to that high ground and checking out this ancient stack that they have for themselves, but there will be the punish back. Ramses gets the arena onto Divine Llama. Nowhere he can go. He's going to be shot down by Thompson, and now they can maybe clear through that ancient stack, though. They're going to have to do it as a group if they really want to. Heroic is not going anywhere, though. They still have this Magnetize to use, and they've got the vision to be able to blow up Soxa. Got a kick to slow down Thompson, allowing Schofield to catch up. Now he's inside the cogs, and now he is screwed. He is stuck inside the cogs with a battery assault and analog right there as well. Wait, a pushback for God's Rebuke. They're doing the damage. He's actually going to be okay for now. It's King Jungles committing for the kill, trying to get him, and he does manage to. Ever so barely, he gets his level 6, and it's going to be a slow death, if a death at all. He has a TP scroll,
Hector,
and he's got Hector bailing him out. No, the God's Rebuke stops him from being able to land, stops him from hitting that additional nuke. King Jungles will finally die, as it's going to be the supports limping over the finish line to be able to get these kills they're looking for.
I mean, this is South American Dota in a nutshell. You are getting dragged into skirmishes and fights you probably rather not take, but Tundra are meeting them head on, bringing the numbers. That's the most important part here. You do not want to get outnumbered. And a huge component of that fight, we saw amp damage. Earth Spirit, I think, would have decimated that entire exchange. But he magnetized the first target he rolled on in Soxa, and Soxa immediately died. So this Magnetize just died with him.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
And it costs him a lot here, because I think that would have been a great fight with the amp damage rune just powering it all up. Tundra happy to get through that exchange, get some ancient camps for the Dragon Knight. They'll bleed out another support as Heroic continue to just pick up the pace and continue to swarm the ramparts here.
It really does feel like this is the exact same situation, just shoes on the other foot here, where Pure is just farming away as the Dragon Knight, and his team is being decimated.
Yeah, this looks like a mirror image from last game.
Yeah.
But he didn't go the Midas. So.
That's true. Maybe you should rethink that. Schofield will be caught trying to play too much around this triangle area, and Heroic looks like they've finally been kicked out for good. Not that Hector minds. He's farming the exact opposite side of the map and pushing in that bottom lane deep.
Bet you he wishes he was Wraith King right now with all this space, man.
It always does kind of weird me out seeing Hector playing a non-strength hero.
He's caught here,
and he should be dying. Here's the trickery. Can only take him so far, but if he gets outside of vision, good thing the kisses were used, because he was getting away and might have been able to jump into the trees. Soxa, wise as he is, opts to use the kisses for a hero that definitely needed it. That being said, a lot of heroes do show in the bottom lane. Thompson's got to be careful in mid, as he's still trying to work towards his Maelstrom.
Man, Tundra really played this last few minutes well. Like, this game could have snowballed very fast off some of those Magnetizes and Power Runes. Instead, they put all their cores in a decent position. Even Soxa found some solid net worth. And this Slark, who, if you remember, was the most farmed hero out of the lane phase, he's now the bottom of the chart. Divine Llama just not finding that like crazy momentum he was looking for off these fights. Does hurt this hero a little bit.
He is going to find the Diffusal Blade very soon, and they'll take this off-lane tower, which may mean, especially if he can get the Diffusal Blade in time, nobody takes the last hit, awkward, but they can maybe play for the 14-minute Wisdom Rune steal.
I think that's too much to ask for here.
Yeah, fighting into this Mars is particularly hard so early on.
And these support ults are powerful if Tundra can set up the front line here with the Mars, so this is a very risky maneuver, though Tundra are a little out of position.
Heroic. Is this going to be a situation where they have bitten off more than they can chew? As in the high ground, Pure is sitting here. Cookie goes out, hits on a couple there, and Slark actually gets a little bit low. But thanks to his ultimate, he's going to be able to heal up and get away. Schofield, Centaur Stomp, but they're still going to be able to track him. Schofield goes down, and Heroic indeed. That push forward into the 14-minute Wisdom Rune area does not work for them.
Lost the Magnetize again, and that was the Blade Mail for the Earth Spirit. That's why Tundra just didn't want to commit on him there, but not the fight Analog's looking for in this early stages of the game. And once more, Tundra just bringing the numbers, maintaining close proximity, bailing each other out. There's just not a lot of openings there. It's a tough fight. I mean, you look at the map right now, in theory, you should not feel bad if you're Heroic because you're continuing to push Tundra into this one part of the map. Like, bottom lane has been empty.
Oh, got him again. Ever so barely, but catches K1 Hector on the edge of the arena. And this is going to be a constant problem for him until he can get the Shard or a BKB on the Monkey King.
He's not afraid of the Monkey King here.
Apparently not.
Not a signature hero for Hector, I would tend to agree. I mean, these are two really bad deaths for Hector, right?
Yes.
Like, you're looking at the amount of space he has right now. He's had the entirety of this bottom half of the map to himself. And he is not the highest net worth. I think there are a lot of heroes he would be, like a Chaos Knight, a Wraith King, some of these heroes that could ghost shove the wave. These two deaths that Ramsey's caught him have really slowed down the Monkey King's gameplay and kind of made the space making that Heroic were doing with the 4 other heroes a bit of a moot point.
See that heat map all over the place.
But it is not translated to a free game.
No.
And that's a big deal.
And in fact, Tundra have completely evened out the net worth in this game.
So you have your Diffusal on the Slark. You saw the Blade Mail and the Earth Spirit as well, pushing towards that vessel. This is kind of where these two heroes can shine in terms of the early skirmishing with the early power spike on these items. And you have your nighttime as well for the Slark vision. So this is kind of where you'd want to aggressively make a move, smoke. Again, you kind of know where Tundra are. They're only in one part of the map, so you just have to force it and break them. We're going to see Heroic smoke up, try and swarm, maybe try and get a good angle here. A lot of this fight comes down to Magnetize, how much it can do, how many heroes it sticks on. You have max stones up, 9 stones to play with here if you're Analog.
They spot Zoxa. Go for him. Arena goes out and immediately locks down the Earth Spirit underneath the Macro Pyre. They go for the hook shot, though. They're trying to stick on top of Thompson. Thompson gets pulled away from Divide Llama, who sticks on a Pure instead. With the Magnetize on some of these heroes, though, they are ticking down, but the team fight, oh, nice kick through from Analog. Finishes off Thompson at least. And the Dragon Knight ticks out as well. The Magnetize is still going on. He's going to get a 3rd kill out of this situation, I think, as Whitemon thought about the TP away. Whoa, K1 Hector finally shows up. King Jungles will be the one to claim the kill on Whitemon at the end. A 2-for-3 exchange that ultimately does go the favor of Heroic.
Earth Spirit, I mean, it is a 1v5 machine, right? Everybody there is just a meat shield for this guy to get the job done. And he gets it done. 8-0 and 5 start, by the way, for Analog here.
Crazy.
He has absolutely owned this game. The second he rolls in there, he got magnetized on everybody. That team fight is over for Tundra. It's just a matter of what you get out of it at that point. And since he got the Blade Mill off on the Spear for Ramses, you can't all-in commit on him. He has too much HP right now. So you got to get to these Dispels. Early BKBs for Tundra are going to be their answer. It's going to be second item BKB for the Mars and the Dragon Knight here. That's going to be a big deal if you can get to it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a very clear difference in these team fights. The team fights, the 2 team fights where Magnetize hits multiple heroes, they demolish. Heroic wins that fight. But then if it doesn't, then, you know, the team fight actually goes against them. What happens if you get BKBs on all these heroes? Like, what's carrying the team fight at that point?
You're going to go into the Valley, I think, with this lineup if you're Heroic. Like, that mid-game period where Tundra have Dispels or Sustains, like a Greaves on a support or something, it's going to be way harder for you to just force those skirmishes straight up. And you're going to have to maybe just farm and split the map a little bit. Maybe play for a Roshan fight, get your own BKB, something like this to trade out those durations for Tundra as this here.
Yeah, Analog managed to get the roll away, I think, from Ramses in time before the spear hits him. And from what you're saying, it sounds like Heroic should try and keep forcing fights while they have this window before they hit the Valley of the BKBs. And with Arena on cooldown, that may be a great opportunity for just that.
Or at least out-farm Tundra. You can be okay with corralling them if you're getting more out of the map, which I think they have been in that position, but again, some of the bad deaths have cost them that lead. Analog is very farm, so if he gets his own BKB, you can just trade out BKBs. But again, you have to be careful of this Magnetize getting dispelled in that type of situation. Still, do not underestimate the scale here on this Earth Spirit. He is still an absolute beast in the late game with 5 or 6 slots. You're looking at like things like Shiva's Octarine, whatever it is. he's a monster.
Yeah. And he doesn't right-click for a totally insignificant amount with that facet.
But you will hit this mid-game valley a bit, and Tundra are going to look to take advantage of it if they can with this BKB timing. Look for a smoke gank of their own. Try and get a pick off, maybe translate it into Roshan. You're still looking to recover your sniper in this game a bit. Thompson will finish up the Gleipnir. Adds a bit more control and damage to their team fight.
Gleipnir 1, Gleipnir 2.
And it will be the Deso for Ramses. He's eyeing it up this game. Does love this build. Gives him a bit more physical to shred through these 3 melee cores.
Yeah, they, I mean, you were talking about how important a pipe could be for the lineup of Tundra. Instead, they opted for just triple BKBs.
Yeah.
Do you think this is do you like Ramses going for the damage approach this game?
If you're going the BKBs, yeah. Like, I don't think you're going 3 BKBs potentially and then getting a pipe. I don't think it makes too much sense to me.
Sure.
You're just going to try and outscale him here. Put your Dragon Knight in a position where he just out-man fights everybody.
Well, he is out man-fighting this tower.
Owned it.
Destroys it mid, gives them a power rune to work with. Heroic maybe are already falling back on that play to, you know, split the map as much as possible. I mean, look at them. They are on the borders of the map.
Yeah, it's time, right? You do not want to force this fight up into the BKB timing Tundra have. But your lineup is solid at splitting the map. Like, you have 3 melee cores, but again, they're all elusive. Kind of annoying. The Slark's going to give you some extra D-wards that you can play around. The Enchantress can also split push some waves with creeps. So you're not too inefficient in playing this type of game, splitting the side lanes, splitting Tundra up. Their lineup, you look at Tundra's lineup, it's very limited on the catch. And their lineup thrives in the straight 5-on-5 and objective-oriented fight, but catching heroes on the map just comes down to Ramses finding heroes with this arena, that's it. It can be a bit clunky for them if the map gets split this hard. Then it comes down to a question of, well, I mean, who wins ultra late here between these 2 lineups going head-to-head? That is a tough question to answer, honestly, because both these lineups scale very hard between the 3 cores. It probably just comes down to itemization and execution in the late game.
Sure.
And I mean, Hector Monkey King. Question mark. What does that look like, right?
Yeah. He's going to work towards a BKB. They're going to take the Tormentor real quick, though. A little bit more efficient for Heroic than it was for Tundra. And they get a jetpack for Schofield. So more opportunity, as he's been hanging out in this bottom lane, more opportunity for them to be elusive.
Yeah, they're being really annoying right now. They are getting more out of the map. Their supports have found a bit of extra net worth. They don't have the Midas Earth Spear or something like that, but Analog is keeping up there at the top. Just had such a good early start. And that is something else to keep in mind. There is a big streak on this Earth Spirit as he finishes the BKB. So if Tundra can win a team fight and collect some of these bounties, there's a lot of hidden gold there.
Smoke gets them a very nice aggressive ward, though it is spotting out a Slark right now. We'll see if Divine Llama managed to make the read that ward just got placed there.
Tundra very split, but they want to go triangle here off a scan. That's what they're really looking for.
They find the monkey again.
So
Trickery
low.
dodges some of the damage, but yeah, he was farming up some Ancients, I think. Got super low off of it. A pounce lands on Ramses. He says, okay, no problem. Pops BKB, walks away.
Did he actually not heal off that Tormentor?
No, he
Is that
did
what
not.
that was?
He was walking because K1 Hector plays for efficiency, farm efficiency if nothing else.
I actually just assumed he went to heal.
No. As mobile as Monkey King is, he did not want to take the 5 seconds it would get to take him back to Fountain.
Honestly, such a Hector. I mean, what a beast. It does not pay off here, though, as that is an easy kill for Ramses to collect.
Divine Llama trying to catch Soxa and get some extra attributes for himself. Doesn't find it, and Pure is still in this area. Hit him with the jetpack cogs. Lock him down and annoy him for half a second at best.
You got to remember, though, that is a play that Heroic are making without the Monkey King.
Yeah.
And Tundra are backing up there. Like, they did not want to take that fight. Kind of interesting. As we weigh the strength of these 2 teams in an actual 5-on-5, you do have that BKB complete for the Earth Spirit. So, in theory, you combine that with the Monkey King BKB, you could start to look at that head-on engagement. Tundra didn't really get what they wanted out of that BKB timing, I think, which it's not terrible here, because you wanted them in this game no matter what. You want to scale with them. They're mainly here for things like the Roshan fight and, you know, Pure being able to commit in to something like a Wukong if it gets dropped, but so we'll give time for Hector to meet them on that battlefield after a couple rough pickoffs. Still kind of feel like you'd want to get the fight going right now if you could, if you're Tundra, especially during this daytime. You got 50 seconds.